What's up guys? Welcome back to another video. Today's video is actually about us finally finishing our collection of the Central American pine snake. We finally finished collecting all four, so there's four of them. They're technically found down, south of our U.S. border. And so there's the Geni, which are pretty common. So we'll go over these guys first, and then you have the Depi, and then it goes, maybe a little cooler from that, and we'll look at the Linalis, and then we'll look at, lastly, the Gibbs Sn, which are actually from Guatemala. So, anyways, we'll go ahead and start with these Geni, and this is a little male that we held back from last year. So he's almost a year old at this point, but we wanted to show you him compared to one of our grow-ups that should produce next year. So let's go check her out, and then we'll kind of show you guys a little bit of a side-by-side. This has been a really long time coming for me, getting all four of these guys, and we finally were able to do it. And anyway, she's way down here. This girl has grown a lot, but, and you have a little bit of something there. Okay, so anyway, here's a little side-by-side. This girl is 3 years old, and let's see if we can just get her to kind of unravel just a little bit. But 3 years old, and check out the differences here. Isn't that crazy? They grow so much in 3 years. I mean, this guy's almost a year, and she's 3, so he'll explode in growth really soon. But both of these we held back because they had the fancier pattern. So this female, you can see that she has a lot of aberrancy going right here through her mid body. And then just like a little bit down on the lower half, you can kind of see it wanted to kind of start connecting. Whereas this male, he totally does like connect a bunch on his lower half. He has like some of the aberrancy going on here. And then he does connect going down his tail and stuff, which was pretty unique. So he also had really great coloration. For a yearling, he has a lot of orange already. So it's pretty cool. Hopefully he'll actually end up prettier than this one, although she's one of my new favorites right now. So I'm really excited to see her produce next year. But anyways, so the Geni, these guys are actually found in Mexico. So that's where the Geni are from, as well as the Depi. So both of the Depi species are found in Mexico, just kind of on different sides, you could say. So this one's found more on the northern end. These are really probably the most common. And these guys probably actually do integrate some into the United States and Texas, I would guess. So, but your Depi, they don't. Not that I'm aware of. But I'm not a total expert, so don't totally quote me on that. But, the Geni are definitely the most common in the industry for sure. But next to them would be the Depi. And I've had them before, but I got rid of them. But then we just got some new ones. And so these ones are actually from the Vivid line stuff. And this male, he's one of the hypos. And he is definitely changing colors, you guys, which is super cool. I really hope he'll go summer phase. Spencer hopes he goes winter phase. But anyways, before I had like more of the Durango mountain ones, which was like more specifically towards that area, that range. But I don't know if the Vivid line is actually specifically from that range, or if that's just what they're calling all the Depi maybe. I don't know. I don't really know, to be honest. I'm not sure where the Vivid line developed from completely. But anyways, so this is the male I have, and then this is the female. She's actually in the blue, but so she doesn't look very bright right now. But they're both hypos. She hasn't started having nearly as dramatic of a color change as this male. But anyways, we'll see. So we're just raising these guys up right now. Obviously, it's going to be a few years before we see these guys produce. So, but I'm really excited to be working with them again. So that'll be pretty awesome. Maybe I'll get a couple more next year. Now, I really like the Vivid line stuff, so I'm hoping to actually work with that a little bit more. And I only have that pair, so you could probably expect me to get something else. Alright, so moving down a little bit, I'm pretty sure the Linalis are found. Well, they're still found in Mexico, but it's like further south in Mexico, I'm pretty sure. So, let's go show you our Linalis. We actually have a trio of Linalis, and I might be butchering that name, so sorry. But anyways, we have a trio, and I think we've only ever shown one. So we'll just show you, this is the biggest one. So this is a nice female that we have, and she's our biggest one right now. And these guys are super cool. They really don't interact a lot with me. They like to just be left alone and sit in the back of the cage and hang out, which is fine. But so these guys are known as like the Mexican like lined pines, or I think they might call these guys gophers too. But the Linalis are known for having the stripes. So she has a decent one, you know, it goes pretty far back before it starts, you know, breaking off into its patches or saddles, whatever we might want to call them. But she's doing great for me. I'm really excited. Super, super pretty. These guys, like, she'll still get, like, way bigger than this. You guys thought the Geni was big, which the Geni do get big, okay? The Geni can still get an impressive, you know, 7 feet thick, big. The Depi, I actually think stay a little smaller than that, but they can still get pretty big. But these Linalis, they get like 7, 8 feet, you know, but like huge. So she won't be able to breathe still for like a couple years. I'm not gonna push her much at all, but it'll be really exciting when she does. So anyways, that's one of the females, and then this is the other female. She's smaller, and she doesn't have as long of a stripe, a little bit darker in color too, but I was just happy to still get some. So anyways, she'll be pretty. It'll be fun to have a little bit of variety, so I'm alright with that. And then the male, he's actually really neat looking. This is the male. So he's got a pretty good stripe going down, and he's even like a different color than them. He's got more, I don't know what I'd say, more yellow, kind of. But anyways, but he has like this crazy, more aberrant pattern in my opinion, which is really cool looking. But his stripe is really good. I mean, it's pretty solid most of the way down. It just kind of starts breaking up here, but like this part I think is so cool where it's like the outlining. It almost looks like a chain. Kind of looks like a chain, huh? Yeah. Anyways, so that's my trio of these guys. And like I said, they're not going to be producing for a few years. So I won't be pushing them much at all. So, but really exciting nonetheless. Hopefully in like 2 to 3 years. I'm pretty sure that female will probably be big enough. These guys are already all a couple years old, so they'll be definitely mature enough at that point. We just got to make sure that they're up to size so that they stay healthy. So anyways, lastly, let's go check out the Gibbs Sn. Alright, so the Gibbs Sn are from Guatemala, and they're probably the rarest of the bunch. They're definitely not ones that you'd see very commonly in the industry. Although I feel like they might be starting to pop up more. I don't know. But same with the Linalis. But I know a fair number that happened. The Gibbs Sn were really hard to track down though. But we finally found some. So I have this really great pair here. And these guys are doing really, really great. I'm really excited. So the Gibbs Sn, they don't have the lines. So they're known for that broken pattern. These guys just like to hide. They just sit in their hide box all day. But at least he unraveled, so now you can kind of see them. They have some of the most beautiful coloration. Way more oranges in them, which I think is super, super cool. This one's supposed to be the female. And so I actually think the male has better coloration. But anyway, you can check them out a little bit. Super excited to grow these guys up. They're just about, how old are these guys? 2 years old now? I think these guys are about 2 years old this summer or something like that. So, I think. Do you remember? I think they're 2.
Nope.
Anyway, they're a couple years old. So, when they're finally starting to really hit their stride as far as the eating goes, we've got them moved up in food size, which has been exciting. They're doing really, really good for me. They just like sitting in their hide box all day, just like I said. So, kind of just drop the food in and it'll be gone the next day. So, but pretty exciting. I haven't handled them too much, but they usually let me at least touch them a little bit. So it'll be really fun to keep working with these guys. Like I said, haven't worked with them before, so this is really my first experience with them. And those pair, that pair obviously won't be producing for, I don't know, 3-4 years at least, is what I'd comfortably say. But hopefully we'll be able to produce out of them at some point in the future, which will be really, really exciting. So anyways, that's my collection of the Central American pines. It's finally done. I'm so excited. I hope you guys really enjoyed seeing them. If you guys have more questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. I love answering your guys' questions. Spencer makes me do it, so it's fine. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.